Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Apex Racing TV for the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship. Round 16 to 18 from the Detroit Grand Prix circuit in Belle. Andrew Woodhouse here, along with Adam Bath. And, well, Adam, this circuit is always a fun one. We came here last year. I was racing last year, of course, at this circuit. And, yeah, we know it's tight and twisty. We know that overtaking is difficult. Is that how you think this is going to play out today?
Yeah, you didn't do too badly from memory anyway.
Well, not until I crashed. No, not until I crashed. I was doing quite well.
Yeah, it is one of the toughest circuits we go to all season, obviously, because iRacing doesn't have many street circuits. So I'm looking forward to Silverstone. We've finally got a new trailer, by the way, of the new Silverstone. But yeah,
we're almost in the following decade to when it was done as well. Just about got it.
Just in time. But yeah, Detroit today should be good. Well, the drivers have to work out where the overtaking places are because there aren't many. Maybe at the end of the back straight or around the fountain section. You could probably send it around there. We'll wait and see. But we've got 30 drivers getting set to go, and the qualifying session set to come to an end with some interesting positions on the grid, which we'll get into in a moment.
Yeah, we've got some got an interesting grid lined up for you. We'll just see that in a minute or two when it's done. But yeah, this is about, I imagine that this is done because it's the closest thing we've got to Monaco. I think that kind of makes some sense. It's a little faster than Monaco in terms of a couple of decent length straights. Quite a few off-camber corners, quite a few corners where you don't want to hit the curb too hard because you will fly up and smash into the wall. So we'll see exactly how that's going to affect the drivers as going forward. But Stelian Chepelewski does put the Evolution Racing car on pole position, 134.167, ahead of Jack Sedgwick, his teammate, and then Stephen Baxter for V-Racer, Ash Sutton for CQR, George Simmons for ERT, and then David Baker for CQR in his customary 6th place. Daniel Brown is the highest placed Am in 7th, with Pete Harrod in 8th, and Jamie Rushworth 9th, and Kip Stevens in 10th position. 11th is Chris Wood, and 12th is Adam McNally. Adam Hedgecock is in 13th place with Sven Glatzel 14th. 15th is Michael Blake. James McRitchie in 16th, the asymmetric team. And then Adam Hadfield in 17th with Maciej Sakovic in 18th. 19th, Scott Malcolm. 20th, John Roberts. Robert Graham in 21st. Max Wright in 22nd. Robert Lundgren 23rd. 24th is Stuart Atkinson. Wojciech Svidovic in 25th. 26th is Ross McFarlane, Daniel Hunt in 27th, Will Daniels 28th, Matt Woodhouse in 29th. At the back in 30th is Paul Smith. Some naughty boys, I think, at the back, Adam.
Oh, the last time I saw Paul Smith, he was keeled over and in a right state. Hopefully he's feeling a bit better this time.
Oh.
That was at the karting.
Well, hopefully he's not going to be in a state at the end of this race. Here come the lights. Fire lights. Lights are out, we're away. Really good start by Chepelewski. Really got a good drive out off the starting. Baxter and Sedgwick side by side through turn 1. It's a fast S's section here. So you hear some sliding going on. Chepelewski isn't going to mind that, being a World Rallycross driver. Now 3 wide we are down the straight out of into this 90-degree right-hander. And it's Sedgwick up it's Baxter up the inside. Oh, and a crash! Oh, and he somehow saved that. I think Sutton was very, very sideways. Not entirely sure how that happened, but he carries on. There's a few cars very, very slow at the back, almost stopped, it looks like.
Yeah, a bit of a traffic jam.
Including Smith and Woodhouse.
Yeah, a typical Detroit traffic jam going on there. But yeah, it was one of the Evolution Racing cars going clattering into a CQR car, I think, that started all that off at the 90 right at the end of the back straight. But for the most part, everybody's through, and there's a good battle going on here between Simmons and Baker for 5th and 6th going into the right hand at the end of the straight. Baker sends it up the inside, but Simmons just about holds his own, clipping the wall on the exit. I think he clips it. Yeah.
Sparks flew a little bit from that wheel arch of Simmons as he brushes the wall.
Now going through the fountain section. This is the right hand I was just talking about at the beginning of the show, where you could potentially send it up the inside here. This is where you famously barrel rolled your way down the straight, I believe.
Ah, yes. Yeah. Well, I hit the outside wall and then it didn't really work that well. Oh, that's look at that. Who's that in? big problems. Is it Stuart? Is it? Who's the boosted car with the? It was Stuart Hankinson, I think, isn't it, with the yellow? Chepelevsky sets the fastest lap unsurprisingly, but he is so far in front already. Well, I said so far in front, 9/10 of a second.
Dreadful start for Ross McFarlane. He's coming to the pits at the end of the opening lap. There's wheel-to-wheel stuff going on here.
Oh! Thought there was going to be a problem there for Jamie Rushworth, as he looked like he missed his braking point. Didn't really know whether to go for a move on Simmons or not. Simmons sat in 6th place. He started in 5th. Baker's gone ahead of him. Very close between Sutton and Baxter then for P3. And it takes a lot of bravery and concentration, Adam, to not give in to the pressure around this. It is tough when people are right behind your tail. I remember that from last year.
There he is, and going into the right-hander here. Sliding about into braking. It's not the most grippiest surface in the world. Most of it is concrete, as you can see here.
Oh.
Believe, anyway.
Yeah, concrete's not conducive to fast lap times, is it, really?
Oh, I know that from the casting a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, dear.
Painful as well. Sends it.
Off the inside! Oh, he's done it. That's brilliant. Really, really good. Baxter just opened the inside there. And Sutton, well, he doesn't need much invitation, does he? He's got it a bit too hot. He does hit the wall. And Baxter can probably get a run onto the main straight now, Adam.
See if he can get it done this time. It's the V Racer trying to get past the CQR car as we come across the straight that pretty much isn't straight apart from this bit here. Down to the S's. Sliding in. This is where that Chevy driver crashed the pace car on the last year's race, but onto the back straight we go.
Luckily, in the front-wheel drive car is not really going to happen there, is it? But
definitely not. Yeah.
Well, we hope not, don't we? Really.
Into the right-hander at the end of the straight, 90 right, and Baxter's keeping pace, but the attention is further back because here's a good battle between an Evolution Racing car, that's Kip Stevens, and you've even got Excite Racing's Adam McNally, and you've got Sven Glatzel in there for good measure. Too wide through here, and it looks like Glatzel, if he can get the braking right, should have the position, and that would be 11th place, but McNally holding his own.
Oh, they've gone. They've gone. Oh dear, well, it's going to take some time. No! Oh dear.
Here's the narrowest bit of the circuit, I must admit. Yeah.
I was about to say before they actually crashed that you could barely fit 2 Kia Optimas through side by side on some parts of this track. Here's Michael Blake in 13th place, 4th in the AM category currently at the moment. That's led by Dan Brown, who started in, I think he started 8th or 7th. 7th it was for V-Racer, as the sun comes out here in Detroit. Obviously, Adam, of course, we know, some people at home might not know, that it's not the Detroit circuit that hosted the F1 back in the 80s.
It didn't. It did host some kart races, I believe, in the early 90s. Then it got resurrected a couple of years ago. It hosts IndyCar next week, I believe, after the Indy 500. And yeah, we're seeing a good battle here as indeed the sun is beaming down on this circuit. Speaking of Michael Blake, he is joint second in the Pro-Am title fight. Joint second with James McRitchie, who is only 2 places away. Yeah, he is there. There he is in the asymmetric car. So,
yeah, they do 2 races here in the IndyCar, of course. Back-to-back days, I believe. Oh, no! Oh, didn't think there was much room there for Hadfield. Oh, he's trying to go around the outside of Blake. You know what? If he's got that done, that's going to be tremendous. There's another right-hander here, though. Blake fighting hard now. And now he's got the outside line for the left. There is another right-hander, though. This is the interest of Belle, is that you can go 2 by 2 for quite some time, but Richie's getting interested, and also Wojciech Svinovic, who's getting 9 positions already.
Yes, Wojciech's
it might be 10.
Wojciech's on the move. It could be 10 in the moment. You can see him at the back of the shot. He's arriving onto this battle now. McRitchie doesn't know where to go here. Oh,
whoa!
More clippage of the wall.
Clippage, I love it. We had a great battle, didn't we, with Michael Blake taking on Ash Sutton a few weeks ago. That was a good scrap that he gave everything he's got. So it's not an easy driver to pass. But Richie trying to work on the quarter panel of Adam Hadfield, see if he can just eke out enough space to go up the inside. And maybe that is what Hadfield's doing now. Has he caught Michael Blake out? Yes, he has. 2 corners from the end of the lap. And yeah, he maybe wasn't expecting it there, but well played by Hadfield. Good driving.
as that's Hadfield up into 4th place in the Pro-Am standings. Next up is Adam Hedgecock, but he is 2 seconds away. And on a lap as short as this, even though it is just a 95-second lap, it is one of the shortest we go to all season. That is quite a big gap, one that it'll probably take most of the final 15 minutes to close down, as Sub 1 Autovet car goes right into the wall on the exit of the shot. And now here is a train. It is Simmons, it's getting led by Simmons, then it's Dan Brown, the top am, then it's Kip Stevens, Chris Wood and Adam Hedgecock, and this could turn out to be pretty interesting as, massive amount of curb taken there, and these curbs do look pretty heavy here. Onto the back straight we go. Simmons driving for Evolution Racing Team, who are doing pretty well in the team standings. They're currently sat in 4th, but only 500 points away from CQR, and obviously this season's barely wet its feet. We're going all the way through to November/December here in the BSRTC, so plenty of time for that gap to be drawn in, as George Simmons does a good job of trying to kill our camera on the inside of the track. Back at the front, it is. There we go.
Sorry, I had the sound issue and just restarted. Everything seemed to work. Yes. Oh, Simmons has hit the wall.
Looks like they're almost using the wall as their friend, aren't they?
Yeah, but again, we've seen how many contacts have we seen in the last season or so where it's like light side-to-side contact and people have had broken suspension. So don't want to be hitting those walls too hard. That's what happened to me last year. I hit a wall. I think it was on that. Might have been the final corner, and yeah, it broke my suspension. I couldn't drive it in a straight line for the rest of it. I will say though, Adam, since Sutton's got past Baxter, Baxter's looked the quicker of the two. I wonder if Sutton's hit another wall somewhere, and it doesn't look like he's handling very well. Baxter's right on him now, and he didn't get the slipstream 2 laps to go, did he? But he will get one now. Where's he going to find the room? I think he should have a go here, but it's always worth. Oh, and he's forced a mistake. He's forced Sutton going very wide, but there's not a lot of time before the next corner there, is there, to take advantage? I
was just going to say, if Sutton made that corner, I would have been very surprised, and he just about did. That tyre barrier.
George Simmons has crashed, Adam.
Oh, he is. Yeah, he's dropping down the order, and I think there might be something wrong with the car.
Oh yeah. Grab it.
Something is awry. Here's a replay. Now he's in a battle here with a V-Racer.
It's 222 is Daniel Brown.
Oh. Don't know whether
now, was it damaged before he hit the wall, or?
Might be worth having a look at in-car to see what the steering is like at this point. It's already broken, isn't it?
It's already now.
Yeah, he's already turning right to go left, and yeah, it was done already.
He's dropping well down the order. He's probably going to finish last now, but is Simmons. But look at Baxter and Sutton. It's a great scrap.
Usually it's Sutton that's applying the pressure, but he is now feeling it in the early going.
The main advantage, of course, that Sutton's got is he's great on the brakes. I wonder if Baxter can do anything about him here.
Him and Matt Neal had a bit of a run-in at Thruxton at the weekend in the VTCC. When did they not have a run-in, really?
No, minicab driver, Matt Neal there.
If you are watching, Matt, why weren't you there to pick me up early? All right, through the right-hander, and Sutton is doing a good job here.
If you are watching, you're old enough to know better.
Sutton understeering like crazy through this section. And
yeah. I think he's rinsed his tyres in the first few laps, you know.
I'm trying to see if we have the conditions button here, just to see what the temperatures are like at this.
Well, it must have got a bit hotter. Can't be great.
Well, when the sun comes out, obviously it's good that the conditions are going to heat up, and that can have an impact. I remember you covering a qualifying session for a series a couple of weeks ago where it did have that impact, and we could be seeing that here. We've still got pretty much half the race to go as well. And
we had one similar to that as well, where it's just suddenly suddenly loads of personal bests, and then a couple of minutes to go, none, because the sun came out again. Stevens versus Brown and Wood, then 8th, 9th and 10th positions.
And this is the beginning of a very, very long train, including Savidovic. Here comes the Team Mad car of Wood. No way through. Good
discipline from Wood, but he knows that if he steps out of line on him, you've got Hedgecock and Hadfield and Savidovic like all waiting to get positions off him, so he doesn't want to go for a stupid lunge and then lose out to the rest of them.
No, it doesn't, especially with the battle being as tightly congested as this. Stevens doesn't get the best run on the exit though onto the back straight, and if Dan Brown was maybe a tenth or two closer, he could fancy his chances, but for now he's trying to ward off the offence of Chris Wood as the Automate Not Kill car of Hadfield tries to go around the outside of Adam Hedgecock, which...
I don't think that's ever going to work at that corner.
Probably not. Through the left-hander, through the double left-hander, in fact, through the fountain section. Now onto the right hand of this. Got a bit of camber on the inside, which you can use, and a few drivers using the concrete wall on the outside to their advantage to try and get the car pointing in a straight line. That will probably only work so far. Eventually you'll end up breaking something. Probably what happened to George Simmons, who joins Maciek Sakovic, Stuart Atkins and Ross McFarlane as the retirees.
Yeah, you will eventually hit that too hard, and that'll end your race. Chepelowski and Sedgwick were only 4 tenths apart. Sutton and Baxter. Baxter's less than a tenth behind.
It's probably the bit of the circuit where Baxter gets as close to Sutton as he can, but then Ash is just nailing these sequence of corners, which is all vital in the run up to the back straights here, which is keeping him ahead. It looks like Dan Brown might finally have got past Kip Stevens, and this is why.
Oh no! Oh well, that's a big one.
And that's
Hedgecock, and Savidovic is on his route.
That's the reigning champion done for the day. Well, I don't know what the boosted car's doing in the background, number 28. Hedgecock just can't get the car going, and fortunately everybody has seen him, and they become the 5th and the 6th retirements you would expect. But the big question is, what happened to cause all this?
Well, I don't think they're going to get to the end here. Let's have a look. Oh, it's going for a move then. Up the inside is the V-Racer car of Brown, and that he ends up pushing
Stevens, isn't it?
Stevens into the wall. Savidovic gets collected in the melee. At least that's what it looked like. Let's have a look at this. Then Brown goes up the inside. Oh, he hits the curb very hard. It's not really his fault, but he did cause it, but it wasn't anything stupid. He just hit the curb and the car bounced up and couldn't keep it in a straight line. Look at this here. Look at him club of the curb, and then the car just straightens up on him. Whoever in the team had car, I think that's Chris Wood, did a fantastic job to avoid that. Can we go on board with Chris Wood, please, Adam?
Yeah, sure.
Have a little look at that.
Ooh, and there he goes.
Don't know if he got a slight nudge from behind, actually, but
well,
it was enough to get him past the accident. Sutton's out.
Oh, there he is.
Right back.
Arriving in a crowd at like, Back to the Future or something. And he's back in 4th place. Baxter is now ahead.
Yeah, the sparks are just flying constantly from the back of his Kia Optima. Doesn't matter whether he's hitting stuff or not.
Well, I look like Fernando Alonso's IndyCar during...
Lundgren. Lundgren out. Well, out of the top 12 where he was running, I think.
Oh, too much damage to the car. I wonder what happened to cause this. It
just
says,
went straight on, just missed the braking point, maybe?
Yeah, it says crashed on the event viewer, but I think you could be right about, and I think you probably are right, about what's going to happen here.
Oh, he gets a nudge. To be fair, under braking, gets a nudge. Does very well to slow it down and stop it. He'll be annoyed at that, but he has still got at least a car that is capable of going quickly in the last few laps.
A duel of the teammates going on here. It's Baker versus Rushworth for 5th and 6th. Baker up a place, Jamie Rushworth up 3 from his starting spot of 9th. And he's doing a not too shabby job here with just 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, good run again for CQR, getting some good solid points. James McRitchie is right on Michael Blake for the last spot in the top 10. Chris Wood now leads the AM category after other people's misfortune. Oh, Michael Blake!
Oh, that car's broken, isn't it? It looked like it was anyway. It wasn't steering straight. I'll see if this. I don't really see it.
Is this a meatball? I wonder.
It's almost yeah. A track like this, a meatball is almost as likely a disqualification at Kota. Really, that's how likely it could be to happen. You might not feel the damage, but you can't get rid of a meatball. And
of course,
into the pits.
For those at home who don't know what we're talking about, we haven't been to IKEA one too many times. The meatball is another term for the black and orange flag, which means that your car is effectively too dangerous to drive because it's got damage or something could endanger the other competitors or yourself. Now here's Stevens versus McRitchie again. Has he missed that? Oh, he has. Oh, he's got away with it though.
For a second I thought McRitchie may have been near an incident limit and was happy to let him through, but I think it was because he might have thought that Stevens wasn't going to make that corner. And now he's right back on.
I didn't think he was.
No, and he technically didn't. But Stevens grimly trying to hold on to a spot inside the top 10 as we enter closing stages. Sutton's come up as having crashed again. And the car looks very worse for wear, doesn't it now?
Oh. At one bit, and he was only about 6/10 of a second behind Baxter. Oh, and then he's gone very wide in turn one. I wonder if that's just maybe he's blinking or maybe something happened. Screen freeze or something, maybe.
Yeah, he's not having the best of connections there, is he, at the moment?
No, not at all. He doesn't usually suffer connection either, it doesn't look like. So, you see, of experience to keep James McRitchie behind.
Everyone's disappeared. Has everyone disappeared for you? No, they're back.
Yeah, they had. Yeah, by the way, they had. But they're all back. So it's reassuring that it's not just me. One bit, Adam, to the circuit once more.
Oh, they're on their way back. They're on their back. I don't know whether it's me or what. One person.
I don't think it's you because otherwise I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't think it would happen to me and you at the same time.
One person that does deserve it. One person that does deserve a shout out is this guy because he's the biggest mover in the field. He's gained 13 places. It's Paul Smith. He's up in 17. Oh
no!
Oh, cursed him!
Oh God! That's the commentator's curse, all right. Dear me. What on earth's happened? Now he's going into battle with John Roberts.
Final minute of the race.
Oh, you nearly well and truly did him there, didn't you?
Come on, Paul, just hold on for one more lap, please.
He almost stacked it.
Here is our race leader, who hasn't had much airtime. It is Stalin Chepelevsky, and he is on his way to what could be a victory here, so long as he can negotiate the final half of the lap. And
yeah, tough part of the lap this as well. You cannot carry too much speed in, because you will crash. It's as simple as that.
With CQR being in positions 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2 for the Evolution Racing team is going to do nicely here. Especially with the 500-point buffer between the two of them in the championship, they need all the points they can get. And here comes Cheppy now for the win.
This is close now. Look at this. How close is this now? Coming to the line, Stalin Chepelevsky then wins at Belle Isle, but only by a quarter of a second in the end. Now let's see what's going to happen between Baker and Rushworth and Sutton.
It's going to be a 4, 5, 6, 7 flying formation. One for the cameras.
That's
here.
One for the promotional shots, I'm sure.
Oh no!
Glatzel. Well, he's lucky. He's got a bit of. He only has to go two corners more to get to the line. Straight on into the fence.
Right, the Woodhouse here. That's brave. Oh! And it's going to be Wright that just heads home Woodhouse. 16th place. Oh! Oh dear.
Oh my. I'll tell you what, it is a brilliant run to the line here through that fast right-hander.
Yeah, hanging it all out.
If you are very close together, it can provide some really close. Everyone's going across. I think Michael Blake's bringing his damaged car back to the...
There he is. Might have just been... It was a very quick repair, must say. Over the line he goes, and that's going to be 23rd place, which might... Or make that 22nd. Might
Which
do
makes
him
you wonder
well.
whether he's just picked up a penalty somehow, but I'm not sure how you do that. A stop and go penalty, maybe for maybe cutting the course and not giving the time back or something.
Might have just been a lucky meatball. I don't know whether.
How long was his pit stop? His pit stop was 21 seconds. So it was either that or he didn't put enough fuel in. But I don't think he would have been 21 seconds in the box if he didn't put enough fuel in. I'm not sure on that. But I guess we might find out at the end of the day. Anyway, regardless, Adam, the race results are up.
Here we are then. It's a 1-2 for Evolution Racing Team. A win for Stelian Chepelevsky and Jack Sedgwick heading him home and following behind him in second. Stephen Baxter in the end gets third place for V-Racer, and then it's a quartet of CQR cars: Sutton, Baker, Rushworth and Pete Harrod. Chris Wood, the first AM driver, Team Mad's driver, finishes in P8. Dan Brown in 9th, and then Kip Stevens getting a 10th place top 10 finish, with James McRitchie in 11th and Sven Glatzel crashing his way to 12th. Scott Malcolm, P13, Rob Graham, his teammates, in 14th. Dan Hunt for Excite Energy in P15, then Max Wright. Then the two Team Mad cars, Mark Woodhouse and Paul Smith. Was Paul Smith the joint biggest mover? He was the joint biggest mover, along with Woodhouse and Dan Hunt. Moving on further back, 19th place for John Roberts. Then it's Adam McNally who was involved in that mangled mess with Glatzel early on. Robert Lundgren finishes in P21. Then Michael Blake, P22, managed to stay on the lead lap despite that 20-second pit stop. That's good going. Then it's the Adam duo of Hedgecock and Hadfield in 23rd and 24th. They're still classified, along with Wojciech Savidovic. Unfortunately for Wojciech, we don't have a full anymore. It's a full -1. So if we get that, it'll be Hadfield on the pole. And then it's Daniels that failed to finish, a Simmons, DNF, Sakovic 2, Stuart Atkinson and Ross McFarlane, the first car out of the race, pitted at the end of the opening lap. Right then, it is time for the first reverse grid of the evening. And in typical Apex Racing TV fashion, I need to go and load it up. But no matter, should be up in a second, and we'll then be able to find out who's going to be on pole for the second race of the day. Another 20-minute race in the offing around the streets of Belle Isle.
Yeah, and I think we did pretty well to have, the vast majority of people finishing. Not many retirements at all, really.
Right then, here it comes. Let's spin the wheel and find out who's going to be on pole for the second race of the day here at Belle Isle in Detroit.
Who's it going to be?
Well, you know, I said about Savidovic, Savidovic not being on the pole. I think he is, because it's 27, which would be George
That
Simmons.
means it is him, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Disregard what I've said. So it's going to be him on the pole.
Well, he would have only not been on the pole if it was a full, of course.
Yeah.
So the fact that it's not a full actually bails out Wojciech Savidovic there. Adam Hadfield will be second. Adam Hedgecock in third, Michael Blake fourth, and Robert Lundgren in fifth. So there's great points on offer for the AM drivers. Certainly, could even be a win. Who knows? When we return here on Apex Racing TV, the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail. Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail. As a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Let me see. About to go then for round 2 of the evening in the BSRTC. Wojciech Svidovic is on pole, Adam Hanfield second, Adam Hedgecock in third, Michael Blake in fourth, Robert Lundgren in fifth. Race 1 winner Stalin Chepelevsky starts in 25th place. We're just about ready for the lights, and here we go. Who's going to tame the streets of Belle for the second time tonight?
Jump start for Hadfield, surely.
Possibly. It was close, wasn't it? Hadfield may have got away too early. Either that or it was a perfect start and he bottled it, but side by side between McNally and Lundgren, then for 5th and 6th already. Svidovic has got a decent lead. Hadfield away well in terms of getting through the first corner well. Hedgecock in 3rd, Blake in 4th, and now we're seeing a move then by McNally on Lundgren, and he makes that stick. And look at this behind. And Adam, this is where a lot of the fast men are, and it'd be interesting to see how they behave themselves in the first few laps.
Yeah, you can see from the timing screen it's a sea of green, but after that you can see the likes of Rushworth, Sutton, Sedgwick, all these guys, here they are. They're all embroiled in scrap, trying to find their own bit of space here in the early going. Stalin Chepelevsky still down in 24th, hasn't been able to make too much ground in the early going, but that is to be expected. And here come the rest of the field.
Sutton's trying to make places up as we speak. Svidovic leads the way. Hadfield in second. Here comes John. Well, that's Dan Hunt, I think, going around the outside. John Roberts, who's missed the corner, and he will get a slow down penalty for that. Probably end up at the back of the field now, as Glatzel going through into 10th place as well, right behind Dan Hunt. Also on the inside is the Automate Knock Hill car, Rob Graham. And then this is Jamie Rushworth. Ash Sutton forcing his way through then on Daniel Brown, as there's either a near pile up, yeah, I think it was a near pile up at the back. Possibly we're still in Chepelevsky involved in that.
Yeah, him and Baxter potentially, but it looks like they've been able to carry on. No one's had to come back to the pits. Paul Smith had a dreadful start, down in
Roberts
20
in the
seconds.
pits.
Yeah, that might be for the... You might not have served the slowdown penalty.
That could be a jump start by him, actually. Yeah.
End of the opening lap then, it's Svidovic, to be expected, leads by 1.2 seconds, and it's Hadfield as someone clips the wall. Then it's
Whoa.
Hedgecock.
Sorry, no, I thought somebody else just clipping the wall as well. It's very close.
Got a lot of people running wide, going through the right hand at the end of the back straight. Here comes Hedgecock on McNally. Sorry.
One of the few places on the track, Adam, where there's some grass to go onto.
Yeah, a bit of breathing space. It doesn't really do too much good though. McNally is caught by Blake, it looks like. Then it's Lundgren, then it's Woodhouse, then it's Wright. Then we've got Sven Glatzel, who's gained 5 places, and then Dan Hunt rounding out the top 10. Ash Sutton, by the way, as you can see, has gained 9 places in the opening lap.
Got some decent field spread going on though, and these guys at the front will have to make good use of that if they're going to stay ahead of the likes of Sutton and Glatzel and people like that. Later on, Lundgren hits the curb hard. Tell you what, Adam, most improved driver probably of the season, Robert Lundgren, I would say, because he's putting some very solid. His pace has increased massively.
Yeah, he has. It says on the entry list that he doesn't have a team, but he's got the boosted livery, and he's doing pretty well so far this season. He's only lost 1 place since the start. Just getting up his stats quickly from the campaign so far. And
the reason why, by the way, that Ash Sutton does so well, just very quickly, is because he gets past the fast guys at the start of the race. He doesn't wait until they're all up to speed. He does it early on, Adam, and it works well for him.
Doesn't, hence why he's up in 13th place. Next up for him is James McCritchie and Rob Graham, and then that whole train that we were looking at earlier. 1 top 10 so far this season for Robert Lundgren. Could be set to make it 2 here if the race were to end now. We'll have to wait and see if he can hold on to it, but at the moment
he's under attack from Woodhouse, who's going around
the
the out. No, he's not.
Oh,
he was going. Oh, somebody's piled in there. Well, he was going around the outside, was Woodhouse, but he went too far around the outside and into the tyre barrier. There's 2 more places for Sutton, by the way, as well.
Could have bailed there and tried to 3-point turn it, but went for the wall instead.
Well, he got hit as well before he could even recover to the circuit. Somebody else just followed him in there. Not even sure who it was. Was it?
It might have been Max Wright.
It was an Automate Knock Hill, wasn't it? Yeah.
Now,
speaking of Automate Knock Hill, though,
yeah,
Adam Hadfield in P3, and he's trying to hunt down Adam Hedgecock's 2nd place.
It's a trio of Adams here: Hedgecock, Hadfield, McNally, all driving for 3 different teams: Boosted, Automate Knock Hill, and Excite Energy Racing as well. And it's a battle for the lead of the Pro-Am category too. Obviously, Wojciech's off into the sunset as things stand. 3.7 second lead after 5 minutes.
You can see Adam Hedgecock pushing very hard from the on-board shot, really throwing the car around.
Sutton's on the move. This time is Prey. Oh, after a little bit of a touch is Rob Graham. He leaves his calling card there, and I think Graham might be at the mercy, well, Lundgren's definitely at the mercy of Sven Glatzel now.
Well, let's see if Glatzel can do this better than Woodhouse then. Barely, but it's a great move.
Pinpoint
great
accuracy
move by Glatzel.
Battle going on between Jamie Rushworth and Scott Malcolm as they all vault over that inside curve.
Oh my God, look at this.
Oh, wow. And a few sparks fly because old Civil.
Oh, somebody hard in the wall there. It's Brown, I think. Oh, it's Daniels. Car 112. I was confused with the 222 of Brown. What's happened to him then, Adam? Take us through it.
He's going wheel to wheel with the Evolution Racing car Stevens. Stevens, well, quarter panel then, and I don't think Daniels could really have done too much about that. Maybe second look, perhaps. Let's go on board with Stevens if I can find him. Here he is. Oh, maybe they come together. Yeah. It's one of those.
It's a tough one, isn't it? That.
I have a feeling a protest will be lodged, but in terms of the outcome of it, I'm not too sure. Oh my goodness me!
What? Oh!
We've got a car flying across the track.
McNally.
Now, how on earth did he end up over there?
Adam McNally turned into Howard Hughes for a second. Let's have a look and see what happened to him then.
Oh, he clipped the inside wall.
Oh, well, it's exactly what happened to me last year. I didn't end up doing that, though. Goodness.
Goodness me, Robert Lundgren gets the fright of his life and somehow misses that wall.
He lost 2 places as a result, though, because he had to go wide.
There it is. Again. There it is.
Oh, and he hits the worst part of the wall as well, on the outside. This is Lundgren's view.
Duck.
Oh, dear, mate. Look at that, and he just hammers the brakes on because he's thinking, how the hell have I managed to survive that one?
Well, that's we're down to 2 Adams now. It's Adam Hadfield versus Hedgecock.
It's not a good survival rate, is it, at the moment?
I'm worried. I'm worried about getting back home through the left-hander.
I'm worried about actually making it to the end of this commentary. So Michael Blake is right behind Adam Hedgecock. He's looking for 3rd place. But look in the background, though. The yellow car with the green mirrors, Ashley Sutton. He's only 3 seconds behind. But he's got to get past Sven Glatzel, and I don't think that's going to be easy.
No, it isn't. The gap between Hadfield and Sutton is about 3 seconds, so I'll have to see how long it takes for the former British touring car having to eat his way into that as we approach half-race distance here. Good battle going on further down in the field. This is a train here made up of Dave Baker. There is Scott Malcolm in front of us. Not too sure if he drives for Ultimate Not Kill anymore. That might be an issue with me. I think he drives for Excite Energy now, looking at that paint job.
Got to give a bit of a shout out as well to former BSR driver Rory Butcher, who is flying high in the British Touring Car Championship at the moment.
Yeah, did very well at
I think he's in 2nd place, isn't he?
Took his first out. I know he won at Brands after a disqualification, but I think he got his first win on the road at Thruxton.
Great move by Baker.
Yeah, obviously.
Taking Scott Malcolm, they're up to 16th place.
Meanwhile,
it's not great. Rushworth and Jack Sedgwick.
Elbows out there by Sedgwick.
Give Simmons an opportunity to come through, though.
Simmons, who retired in race 1, doing well here in race 2.
Very late on the brakes. He's trying to sashay his way around the outside, and he has indeed. That's brilliant. Saw the back of the car just moving around under braking. Good work. McRitchie then, and Graham. And James has got the inside line.
Not often you see cars going too wide through that part of the circuit, but
no, not at all.
With the asymmetric drive, able to use it to his advantage, and it's the Apex by quite a bit there. Next up is Robert Lundgren, who is, despite his major fright earlier, is still in P8, but the onslaught could be about to arrive, especially with Sedgwick and Simmons not too far away from gate crashing this lap.
By the way, it's very close for P2 now.
Oh, here it is.
Oh well, this is actually the battle for 3rd. Going on behind them, Blake, Glatzel, and Hedgecock trying to sort it all out between themselves. Oh no, he's nearly sorted out Michael Blake there.
Oh, McRitchie's gone.
McRitchie!
Looks like he missed. Oh dear, someone's in the wall behind him.
Baker!
And
then he's got hit by
someone got DQ'd. Someone got DQ'd afterwards. I'm not too sure who that was.
Disqualified.
I think it was DQ'd anyway. Yeah, I think it was McRitchie got disqualified after that. Here is what happened.
I think he is disqualified. He's in the pits. Take us through this one.
Well, Lundgren defends the inside. McRitchie cuts back to the outside, but doesn't make the corner. Bang into the wall. And then he's gonna get an off track, I think, and then that's what's gonna be that ends his evening.
It's the grass that does him.
Oh, or maybe not. He might jump back to the pits.
It's the grass that disqualifies him. Maybe, is it? And then, no, he's not.
And then I think it was Graham that goes off into the wall afterwards. Right, back to live.
That was mental, wasn't it? This doesn't look like it's going to be much more well-behaved.
No, this is Lundgren is now down to 11th after that. Simmons is up the inside of...
he's in the wall.
Oh, hold your breath.
He's recovered it well, though.
This order's a bit all out of kilter just because McRitchie's finally dropping down the order.
Sven Glatzel's going for 3rd.
Indeed he is. Let's see if we can get it done this time.
I'm going for 1st, says John Cleland.
Oh...
On the outside goes Glatzel.
That's what I did to someone in the go-karting. They weren't too happy. They were very angry.
What? They're going around the outside or the middle finger?
Yeah, the middle finger. I was that tired. I was that annoyed. I couldn't give a toss.
In the middle of the night. Was it in the middle of the night?
About 5 a.m.
Oh my god, that's the worst stint as well. Oh, side by side behind there between
Paul Smith and
Sakovic and Smith and McFarlane.
I might have been somebody
I've
else.
seen anything of Ross McFarlane so far.
Yeah, he was out on lap 1 in race 1, and he hasn't managed to get much further forward in race 2. Having said that, he has gained 8 places, but how many of those were down to retirements? There's quite a few.
Sorry, that battle for P2 looks absolutely crazy. Sutton's having a look.
Oh yeah, here he is. He arrives, and he could be about to get 5th here.
Well, Blake's got the... Oh! Yeah!
Rather you than me. and that was never going to happen, and it didn't. Michael Blake remains in 5th.
Yeah, gap was closing all the time. I tell you what, that's the only sort of racing you can get away with on a street circuit, isn't it? In tight confines of Belle Isle. Sutton's got a good run here, though. I've got a feeling that Blake's going to be vulnerable at the end of the straight. Then may need to defend the inside.
Meanwhile, Glatzel makes the corner. Just about. Oh, Blake doesn't.
Oh, now there's a contact. Did Blake miss the corner, or did he get assisted?
Be worth having a look at that. Here it is from the helicopter. Sutton.
Oh, a bit of both.
Just gets at the inside.
Well, actually, mostly missed it.
And I think he might have picked up a bit of damage in that. Actually, we stay on board. Is he crabbing to the left a little bit? Yeah. Personally, I think that's what it looks like. Anyway, we'll stay on board with him going onto the straight. See if he's having to turn left to go right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
That's not going to help him whatsoever in the last in the late going here.
I wonder if that might
6 minutes remaining.
Yeah, I wonder if that might have occurred up from the. Oh, something's happened, and this is it.
Oh, it's Cheppy, it's Baker, it's Harrod.
Oh,
it's a crash. That's what it is.
Someone
it's right into the wall, I think.
Glued together. I know
It's a blown engine.
Rusty Laidler's not too keen on Max Wright, I think, but Stalin Chepelewski probably isn't going to be after this. Here's a replay of what happened. The helicopter gives us a good view of this.
Begs the question though: is Rusty ever happy? Because it's into the wall for Wright, and then that blows the engine for Chepelewski.
Yeah, our race 1 winner is going to be done, and he's going to have to hope that his teammate Wojciech Savidovic, he gets a bit of luck with the reverse grid draw.
Oh!
A huge amount of curves getting clobbered there.
He was shoving him through the corner.
Enough to take your fillings out your teeth. Don't know if Hedgecock has any.
Well, somebody else has clipped the wall as well. Just in front of them. How is Sutton putting this pace up though with the damage?
Remember a similar drive.
You can tell it's not as fast as it should be though, Adam, down the straights.
Trying to turn.
Because he was right in the slipstream. Oh, and he's frightened him off the track, has he? I think he has.
Hedgecock doing something wrong or something? Let's have a look at it. Is the car crabbing at all? No, everything seems to be fine. It just looks like he locked up and missed the corner.
Yeah, just missed the corner. Maybe under the pressure, possibly. It's difficult to say, though. I don't like to say that someone succumbed to the pressure because it could have been anything.
We can't talk.
Well, no, exactly that. Oh, more crashing going on in this the midfield. Simmons and Graham, I think, have just about had enough of each other.
They are the.
So it wouldn't surprise me if there's some more fisticuffs shortly.
They're the married couple on a long car journey, and it's nearly reached its end, and they can't stand one another as they come through the final corner.
I'm sure they'll thank you for that one. Oh my word, some very late changes of direction here. Oh, Simmons is on the grass trying to get
cutback, so yeah.
On the grass, damn it.
Right,
he's right in the slipstream though.
Oh, this could be interesting then. On the brakes, there's an automatic car stops at the side of the track. That's Max Wright, who is a lap down. And
Simmons around the outside.
He is going to get it done. Or not.
He gave the room, but he also gave Rob Graham a way back into this fight.
God's making me sneeze. Up the inside goes Graham.
And Simmons is through. Simmons is through into 10th. And here comes Rushworth going for 10th as well. Going for, sorry, 9th for Simmons. And then it's going to be 10th for Rushworth if he gets this one done.
Oh, good luck making that corner.
Oh! He's done it, you know.
Great job by
He's not carried the speed well. Oh!
I'm expecting to see Chris Wood flying up the inside any moment now. He's about 3/10 of a second away from all this.
Yeah, he's not far away. If there's any problems, then he certainly will. Is he going to go
send
for the inside? Yes! Oh, contact! Out goes Graham, and I think I think Rushworth's going to have to take a penalty on that one. I think.
Yeah,
I think you could tell what he wanted to do, but the space wasn't there.
Well, not too long to go.
Speaking of penalties, Alex Simpson isn't here this week.
I know, yeah, I think he's in a meeting.
Probably it should be the only week that he doesn't get a penalty then. Even then I'm not sure whether he'll get a penalty for this.
Fight between two teammates going. Oh, sorry, no, it's not two teammates, is it? It's Dan Hunt versus Jack Sedgwick. Got similar liveries. Sedgwick drives.
Yeah, different teams, and it's a bit confusing.
For the benefit of the tape, here is the replay of the move.
Oh, I liked the idea a lot. I didn't like the execution so much.
A for effort.
Yeah, just a bit clumsy. It's a shame as well for Jamie because he's usually pretty good at that kind of thing.
God, it's like this automatic not kill car stops all over the place. Sedgwick sends it.
Oh. It's calmed down at the front, incidentally. We stick with this battle, but it has calmed down at the front. 8.6 between Savinovic and Glatzel. 2 seconds between Glatzel and Hadfield. 1 second between Hadfield and Sutton. And then 2.5 between Sutton and Hedgecock. So, top four's locked in pretty much. 5th and 6th is under contest, though, as you can see here.
Yeah, it's a fight for second in the AM category as well. Adam Hadfield currently leads that group. But this is the fight for the runners-up spot in class. You can see by the yellow and black AM writing on the front of Michael Blake's car, who's really getting onto the back here. Look at the car bouncing about. The camera has to shake about.
It's very bumpy here. Is Blake going to send it? I think he is. Oh.
Just needed,
nearly.
Yeah, and it just needed a bit more room, and he could have potentially got it done. But Adam Hedgecock's putting the car all in the right places.
Well, there's still an opportunity.
Oh, don't know what that line was there by Michael Blake. He hits the wall as a result. I don't know if that's going to cause any damage to the car. No, it all looks pointing straight and true here.
Well, coming around the final few corners, Adam, is Wojciech Stevinovic now.
Yeah, just like his teammate Stelian Shefalevsky, he hasn't had much airtime because he's been that far ahead. That's not even second place behind him. That's a lapsed car. Glatzel is only just coming out of the right-hander now. He's not even in the same camera shot as here comes the pole to take the race 2 win. A second win of the evening for ERT.
Yeah, he wins from pole as well. Wojciech Stevinovic coming around the final corner. And he takes the second race of the day here at Belle Isle in Detroit. Very happy about that indeed. Is Stevinovic so happy? He crashes as Sven Glatzel coming home in second place. He was 4th in the championship before this meeting, so that will do him no harm at all. And Ash Sutton was leading the way in the championship. He'll finish 4th. Adam Hadfield, great podium finish for him and for Auto McKnock-Hill. Be very happy with that, I'm sure.
Close here between Simmons and Rushworth. It's going to be Simmons that gets it, and off he flies. Pete Howard here is right with Robert Lundgren, who for the first half of the race put up a very good defence, and he looks like he still did so now to get a P14, a top 15 finish in the end for Lundgren.
Yeah, it didn't help that he had a flying car in his face either. Halfway through that one. Just waiting for Graham and Baxter, and then we'll have our finishing order, which yeah, it was an entertaining race. There was quite a lot going on. We had a few incidents.
That car's messed up.
And Some good racing at the front and in the middle. That's what we want. And yeah, I can stay at Baxter's car.
Still got one more race to go as well.
Yeah, what madness are we going to see there, I wonder?
Hopefully a fight for the lead. We haven't had that tonight. Wojciech Savinovic wins then. Sven Glatzel finishing second. Adam Hadfield, we get an AM driver on the podium, finishes in P3. Ash Sutton fourth. Fifth for Adam Hedgecock. Sixth for Michael Blake. Seventh for Jack Sedgwick. Eighth for Dan Hunt. Ninth George Simmons and Jamie Rushworth rounding out the top 10. And look at that, just less than a second between 9th, 10th and 11th. Chris Wood there in P11. Then it's Dan Brown, Dave Baker, P13. Robert Lundgren in 14th place. Good defensive drive, really. He's continuing to improve, and he was so close to getting a second top 10 of the season. P. Howard 15th, then Kip Stevens in 16th, then it's Ross McFarlane. Good drive through the field from him to get that position. 13 places gained, considering he started at the back. Magic Sakovic 18th, 19th for Scott Malcolm, 20th for Paul Smith, 21st for Rob Graham, then Steve Baxter, the last car on the lead lap in P22. Mark Woodhouse in 23rd place, so he may be helped by the fact that once again we have got a small entry list for this race meeting, so we do get a big number. It might be him on the pole. The cars that definitely won't be on the pole though. Our race 1 winner Stalin Shepelevsky, Max Wright, John Roberts, James McRitchie, Stuart Atkinson, Adam McNally and Will Daniels, who was that very mangled V-Racer car in the early stages. He finishes in P30th and last.
I was just chuckling off mic because I've just seen the 1992 Monaco Grand Prix on the TV at the minute, and Ivan Capelli's just ended up stranded on the guardrail on his side. It always makes me laugh. I don't know how many times I watch it. We're now going to see the reverse grid wheel, and who's going to be laughing with joy, Adam?
Let's find out.
Or trepidation.
With nervousness potentially. Let's spin the wheel and find out who's going to be on pole for the final race of the day here at Belle Isle. Let's get the sound effects on. Where are they? There they are. And here we go. Oh, I don't know what to do in this situation. and it's literally stopped in between. I think we're probably gonna have to say that's 18. Wait till you see it on the YouTube stream.
So 18 is going to be. Can't find 18.
I know it's on the other side.
Magic Sakovic
Timing screen. It's pointing at 18, so I will say it's 18. But yeah, it's literally on the cusp of full -5. But,
I'd say Magic Sakovic. To be honest, actually, 4 -5 is 17th. So I think 18th's fair because it gets them both in.
Yeah, I'd agree on that.
So there you go. So Magic Sakovic on pole, and then Ross McFarlane will be second. Third will be Kip Stevens. Fourth will be Pete Harrod, and fifth again will be Robert Lundgren. So we'll see if he can stay there this time as we come back on Apex Racing TV with the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail. Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail. Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Round 3 of the evening in the BSRTC. Andrew Woodhouse and Adam Bath at Detroit. Kip Stevens on pole. Daniels in second. Stuart Atkinson third. Dan Brown fourth. Sven Glatzel in fifth. We go down the list. We see Wojciech Svinovic, who won race 2. He'll be starting in 18th place. So we'll see how he gets on.
I'm sure it wasn't Stevens on pole, but I can't remember.
No, it wasn't. Unless Sakovic is showing us pole. No, Sakovic is there. Sakovic is on pole. I don't know what's happened. Sakovic and McFarlane, Stevens, Harrod and Lundgren. Here's the lights.
God knows what that grid was.
No idea. Another great start by Sakovic. Already McFarlane's into the lead then. Into turn 1. Can he keep it though, as we have to turn left now? Scotsman round the outside, and we said we have not seen a lot of him. Oh. It might be his first opportunity. There's some contact on the straight. Oh, crash.
Oh dear. This is not going to go well. Off into the air goes Pete Harrod. Landing. Oh, many cars on their roofs. Oh, that's a mess.
That is a big mess indeed.
Now, where did it all start? But meanwhile, Ross McFarlane leads. Then it's Maciek Sakovic. Then it's Kip Stevens. Then it's Jamie Rushworth. It was Pete Harrod that was the CQR car that stepped out of line that began it. But I don't know whether there was any contact as a result, as Stevens and Rushworth go into battle now.
Well, that must have been about as close to a safety car as you could wish without getting one, I think.
Remarkably, I'm amazed that only 3 cars were involved in all that. I think Paul Smith will have been pretty happy that he started from the pit lane, because he managed to somehow avoid it.
Does Sutton start from the pits as well? Maybe Chepelewski as well?
Yeah.
Or did they just get caught up in the violence? I'm not sure.
So Ash Sutton crashed on the timing screen, so he may have been involved. There, he definitely is picked up.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, he's done for. His evening over. Sakovic then under pressure from Jamie Rushworth. What a lap by Ross McFarlane. 2 seconds quicker than anybody else.
Adam Hadfield, the first car into the pit lane at the end of the opening lap, but this fight for second looks to be pretty interesting.
This is almost like an old school BSRTC race, Adam, where there's a bit of a pile up on the first lap, and it's more of a spread out feel to proceedings. And look at that move around the outside. You know what? I'm starting to think that's the better line to set. Look at there's 5 of them behind.
Lundgren's in there. It's
Jesus.
Michael Blake. There's Sven Glatzel, and then it's Michael Blake. Now it's on for the fight for third. This is Jack Sedgwick versus Maciej Sakovic, and it looks like Sedgwick might have got it done already.
I think some of those drivers might be saying the Hail Marys in there somewhere.
Oh, at the inside.
Flying Stevens, bang! Sakovic was caught napping a bit there.
I raced with Maciej Sakovic at the karting race on a couple of weekends ago. He wasn't too impressed with one
Didn't call him a few harsh things, did you?
No, I think he called me a few harsh things. Ran him off the track.
Last time he raced with you, he called you yeah, I'm going to do it.
Ran him off the track, apparently.
You ran him off the track? Well, no wonder.
Well, I was in front of him. Technically. Completely. I think he was trying to get a move done on the outside, and I think I just said, no way, mate.
No, thank you. Was that for position?
No, I was probably getting lapped. But
no, well, I mean...
There were no blue flags. There were no blue flags.
But that's what they all say. Fastest lap of the race by Ross McFarlane, 134.87. Continues to stretch the advantage, 2.7 seconds then. As this is what happened at the start.
Oh, it began before Harrod arrived. It was the Evolution Racing car getting into Stevens getting into the back of the team manager Sakovic. Yeah.
And then Harrod just ended up in a bit of a wiggle, which is weird for the front wheel drive. But
okay, one more time because I know there's other stuff going on. Oh, the bump didn't help either, did it?
Went very light. Somebody really copped to him. Was that Robert Lundgren?
Again, Lundgren had to dive out of the way of somebody in race 2.
Harrod nearly did. He nearly cleared the Penske Bridge. It was nearly like a pole vault.
Pole Harrod. That's poor.
I don't know why I even laughed at that. It was that bad, but I still laughed. Which means, was it bad at all? Probably not. McFarlane leads then. Sedgwick in second. Rushworth in third. And then this battle is a bit lower down. 9th, 10th and 11th places. Lundgren of Sweden. Baxter of England. Blake of England.
Good run on the exit here by number 12, Baxter. See if he can get it done here, but obviously Lundgren is going to defend as good as he can as we come over the line.
Fastest lap of the race for Jack Sedgwick, 134.74.
Oh,
only 1/10 of a second quicker than McFarlane though that time.
Lundgren's going to be
this is a good run now,
isn't he? Yeah. It all started from a really poor line going into turn 1. Not too sure if he couldn't have done anything about it because of the damage. And through
Baxter's clear then.
Yeah.
Very quick in race 1, wasn't he, Stephen Baxter?
It's just going to see if Lundgren is the car that you thought that you saw. Oh!
Remarkably, barely affected him.
Number 7, Ash Susser, went for a wild ride as well.
Oh yeah. Whoa.
And I think he's
a lot of drivers in big trouble.
He's done for the day.
After that first lap. Terrible accident, really. Big crash. Now, Sakovic trying to stay ahead of Simmons. Simmons has got good pace around here. When he did a handful of laps in qualifying, he still managed to put it, I think, in 5th or 6th place. But here comes Daniel Hunt. We've not really seen him much today.
Oh, good line through that. Oh, poor line, I should say, from Simmons, really. He's allowed Dan Hunt into the equation. Let's see if the Excite Energy iRacing driver can get it done here on number 63. I'm hoping we'll be playing in this weekend's Scottish Cup final.
Very close to the wall. Up the inside. Oh, McRitchie and Daniels has been a problem down there, I think. Problem in 20th and 21st place, but we'll just quickly see
Oh, you did.
Conclusion that Simmons has left the inside open, but we've seen the outside line work for him. Yeah, it still works for him. Well played. Oh, who's that now? Sven Glatzel inside on Daniel Hunt. Oh, and how there wasn't contact there, absolutely no idea.
The teammates here come to blows as well. Right, here's what happened to James McRitchie and Will Daniels.
Ritchie going to crash, and then Daniels is going to find him.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, wow.
Oh, put over.
Now this is
Daniels.
This is going to be an onboard view to save us. So first of all, he goes over him. Then he.
That's one you don't want the VR headset for, isn't it?
Oh no! Oh. And then over the top of him.
That's amazing.
Well, McNally on the YouTube chat said that he had the VR for his wild ride down the front straight.
Oh God!
Earlier,
I didn't vomit everywhere.
It's not the most flattering sight, is it? Or the flattering sick with your VR headset on. But
you can't see what you've been sick on.
Right, lap 6, 8 minutes in, and
what a mess.
It's yeah, literally, it's a quick scrap, a very big scrap for basically 6th place on back. We've got Simmons, we've got Hunt, we've got Glatzel, we've got Baxter, his teammate. And then it's a bit of a gap back to Michael Blake and Lundgren, who are fighting each other.
I always think of poor old Mark Webber at Fuji.
Throwing up in his helmet, yeah.
And that didn't help because he got then taken out by Sebastian Vettel. Now, up the inside, around the outside for Sven Glatzel. They are side by side still. Into the right-hander. Has he got it done? Or is there still life in Dan Hunt? Is he going to try and go all the way around the outside? He is, you know. If he can keep that overlap at him, he's got half a chance into this right-hander, but he really needs to start throwing it into the corners and trying to get that overlap, but he can't. He hasn't got the momentum. Bang! There's a cross-check into the boards. 2 minutes for roughing. We are in Detroit. He could play for the Red Wings.
Oh. Yeah. Lap 6 then, and Dan Hunt is... Well, he did his best to try and keep Steve Baxter away, and credit to him, he did. But meanwhile, it's very close between Sakovic and Simmons. It remains very close between Sakovic and Simmons because Simmons
made a right mess of that curb.
Did yeah? Here comes Glatzel.
Look, he was right behind Sakovic, and then he hits one curb, and that's 0.6 of a second.
You can see how close. Lost, you can see how close they go to hitting that inside curve, and if you do, it's an automatic DNF pretty much because you'll go flying.
And then
into
the wall,
yeah.
And then the wall on the inside there was terrifying coming to the start-finish line.
That curve's not too bad, as we saw there with Simmons. Not the best run on the exit though.
Simmons tends to ignore the track through turns 1 and 2. I've noticed this. Oh, he doesn't know which way to go.
Just results to hitting him instead. Oh.
He might resort to hitting him a second time now. So he bashes over the curb. Still enough space though. For both Simmons on the grass, no traction.
That was down to one-wheel drive there.
Yeah. That's it. It didn't do him any good, really, did it? On that one. We would. I'll tell you what, though. We would. We'd be remiss to not mention Niki Lauda's passing this week. One of the legends of motor racing, especially Formula One. But I think everybody is very sad that he's gone, and you know, he was such a good figure in the paddock and such a great champion and ambassador, and of course one of probably the bravest act in all sports, Adam, when he came back in the 1976 Italian Grand Prix and somehow finished 4th with blood absolutely spewing from his wounds, and he could barely, you know, the pain of the burns and things that he'd sustained. Unbelievable.
I think it was testament to the fact that when I went on my Twitter on the morning after his passing to see football fans that I thought had no interest in motor racing at all sending out their wishes, that showed how much of an impact he had. Look at this. Oh,
well, speaking of impact, there's some impact. Oh, this is a good battle.
Oh, Simmons and the wall become one then. Jesus wept. Simmons and Blake, or not Blake, it's Dan Hunt and Simmons nearly coming to blows there, as Hunt now gets into 7th place.
I think the thing with Lauda that shocked a few people, or that you know, has made people quite sad, is that he was very, very recently still at all the races, wasn't he? And you know, he was only 7, and through all that, he was only 70 years old. But let me just leave it with this one thing on my part, anyway. Right? He had 42 and a half years that he shouldn't have had.
Oh yeah.
Really, he was given the last rites. I'm pretty sure that people on this channel won't mind me saying that he told the priest to fuck off, and that's why he's still here. So yeah, brilliant, just a brilliant man. And he always said it as it is. Toto Wolff was saying today, Adam, in the press conference at Monaco, that Nicky didn't really care what he said. He would always tell the truth and always tell what his heart told him, and I think that's what we loved about him. I think that's what everybody loves about him.
Oh, there's a huge collection of interviews you could go to find an opinion on something. Will be definitely missed there, and was one of the key factors in getting Lewis Hamilton to Mercedes, if I remember rightly, back in
That's right.
in 2012.
Look how that's worked out, eh? You know, brilliant. And look at this then. I'll tell you what, it was a brave gamble though. It was a brave gamble by Lauda and Wolff and Mercedes in 2012 to ditch Michael Schumacher.
Yeah.
You know, when he was getting back to somewhere near his high standard, Michael Schumacher. So yeah, it was a brave move, but it was one that worked out well for him and for Lewis. Well, sorry, it worked out well for Mercedes and for Lewis Hamilton. Now, this is Stelian Chepelevsky going past Scott Malcolm in car 31, Excite Energy.
What the massive wreck has done in the field, you did mention it earlier, has caused quite a big field spread. So there are only 19 cars left in this race, remarkably.
Wow.
After
Baxter in 20th is out completely, isn't he?
Out of the 30 that started. Did we see? Oh bloody hell! Someone goes vaulting over the curb. That was Adam McNally. He's gained 18 positions. In fact, he is.
Lundgren's car is handling horribly, because did you see how it just completely lunged through that like as it hit the bump in the road, the sort of dip in the road, just sort of lurched wildly. I think he's really struggling to hang on to this.
Robert Lundgren.
Very good.
Oh,
that's Robert bouncing over the curbs, Lundgren. That time. There's no pun there. I tell you, I know from experience that is not a fun corner to hit, is that?
Wheel to wheel here between Chris Wood and McNally. McNally using what tyre life is left to go around the outside as the sun sets in the background. Wonderful image there as we go on to the
beautiful lighting on. I tell you, iRacing have done a hell of a job with the lighting over the last few years.
On the brakes, here they all come.
Who's that round the outside? Wood.
Great view of what's going to happen here from the back of Robert Lundgren's car. Chris Wood just couldn't hold it around the outside. Oh, I don't know where he's going here. Has he broken his thing on the left?
I think he's broken the left front. Yeah, left front's broken.
Absolutely destroyed.
He might be able to... No, I was going to say he might be able to get to the end. He's parked up. Let's see it. Is that it? That's all that caused it.
Was that the final nail? Let's have a look. Just before that, everything's fine.
We said though, didn't we, Adam, that those light side impacts... Oh, well, not much of a thing. George Simmons has crashed, apparently, according to the timing screen.
Let's have a look. Oh,
well, he has. Has he done the same thing?
Has that broken it as well?
And he's still going. Curb.
Oh, no.
Spin. Oh. Well, that's the first spin I think we've seen in terms of in the slow corners today.
It's remarkably difficult to spin these things.
Oh yeah.
Obviously,
yeah.
You can just correct
slow speed it is. But the bump is what did it, and being in the air for most of it's also what did it. Lundgren versus McNally then. McNally who ended up tumbling down the straight in the last race. Here comes Stelian Chepelevsky as well, who's worked his way up from 24th place on the grid to a very respectable 12th. Although, would you have thought, Adam, that maybe with all the carnage he might have gone a bit higher up the field? But was he involved in the first lap incident?
Depends what he saw at the start, really. But yeah, he is up to P11 now, as we're now down to 17 cars that are left in the race.
I guess it's solid points, isn't it, regardless?
We've pretty much obliterated half the field.
Well, I'll just read you the retirements, actually, just while you're doing that. Wright, Wood, Baker, McRitchie, Daniels, Hedgecock, Sutton, Hadfield, Smith, Brown, Baker, Svidovic and Harrod.
This might explain your Chapelevsky theory.
He's in the pack, sees the smoke, slows down. Oh, he's Rogered Wojciech Svidovic there. Nothing he could do though, really. Because I mean, he did slow down, Adam, but there's only so much you can do, isn't there?
The evening started off with 1-2 for the Evolution Racing team. It hasn't really got much better, although Sedgwick is running in second and Kip Stevens running in fourth as Chappie tries to get up the inside of McNally here for a spot in the top 10.
McNally looked like he made a mess of the second to last corner. Might just hurt him a little bit.
Careful. Into turn 1.
We saw a big crash there, didn't we, in one of the GT competitions that we covered it last year in Apex TV. Do you remember that?
I remember seeing a big one there too in the Ritmatech, a rare crash in the Ritmatech Sports Car Series that caused the safety car.
Oh yeah, I remember that. McNally having a look,
Oh, look at this.
Committing.
Fight for the lead.
Well,
we've got it with 1.5 minutes to go. For the first time tonight, a fight for the lead.
That's interesting. It's very interesting indeed. Jack Sedgwick has worked his way up. He does have some slight damage on the front right, so he may have been clipping some of the Belle walls. He goes down the inside.
Oh, God.
Oh, I tell you what, Adam, that's the move that Jamie Rushworth tried with dire consequences, but that was a great attempt by Sedgwick. He's obviously got his car's obviously working very well in this evening temperature.
I thought Ross McFarlane was going to Ross McFarlane was going to take himself out, just trying to put the power down because it looked like he was heading straight for the wall on the exit of that hairpin. Final lap then.
We know that Jack Sedgwick is not scared of sending one if he has to. He's going to have to send one fairly soon on the final lap. We've seen many, many things happen down at this 90-degree right-hander, Adam.
McFarlane doing everything right, defending the inside line. He just doesn't want to get set up here, which is what could happen unless he can hold it tight. Yes, he can.
I think Sedgwick's going to have to wait for that. It's not really a hairpin, but it acts as one after the second straight.
Oof.
So after this corner here, the next right-hander is going to be the one for Jack Sedgwick, I think.
He's got a good run as well.
Can Ross McFarlane position his car in such a way Sedgwick can't go through? This reminds me very much of the straight of the Valencia Street circuit. Hard on the brakes then, into this right-hander. He hits the curb, does McFarlane. They are wheel to wheel now. Sedgwick trying everything to stay alongside. McFarlane's got the outside. He's trying to pinch him down a little bit as they still rub door handles going through the final sector, and then up the inside into the hairpin goes Ross McFarlane. He keeps the lead, but now it's the drive. We've got two right-handers, double apex coming up.
Oh, in the wall.
Oh, Jack Sedgwick's in the wall. He's in the wall and he'll have to settle for second. But Ross McFarlane comes through the final right-hand kink. He takes the win for V-Racer, and it's Jack Sedgwick in second place. What a finish that was. The final lap, brilliant. Jamie Rushworth over the line in third.
Fantastic. Titanic scrap that was. I was grinning from ear to ear watching that. There was great room given between the pair, and eventually that tyre barrier had a say in it, and it was Jack Sedgwick that ended up getting bitten.
At some point, though, Adam, this is the thing. There was great respect between the two drivers. At some point, you know, they do remember that it is the final lap, and you know, they maybe have to get the elbows out a little bit. But very, very good indeed. You can see Lundgren and Graham, that was very close coming over the line, 12th and 13th place. Roberts, Atkinson coming over, and then just Malcolm and Woodhouse. And that, would you believe, is already everyone finished.
Yeah.
Terrific race. Big big mess at the start, but it did make some of that quite interesting in the middle. So really, really good stuff. Yeah, we had 17 finishes, Adam, out of the 30 who started.
Goodness me. And most of them, some big names were involved in that mess at the start. Wasn't the best even. It wasn't the best third race, I should say, for CQR. In fact, once we get the results up, I think
It's pretty awful, actually.
only one of them in the top 8. Only one of them finished, and that was Jamie Rushworth in P3. That'll be music to Evolution Racing teams ears, even though some of them didn't finish either. Just to respond to what Dave Baker put on the YouTube chat, Adam was not letting anyone buy in the karting, no matter who they were or what place they were in. True. True. I'm amazed they didn't get black flags, really. For going so slow.
You've already got a history of being disqualified. I don't know what would have gone.
I did get black flagged in practice, though, but that wasn't my fault. How was I meant to know that we couldn't speed during yellow flags? Ross McFarlane wins. Jack Sedgwick finishes in second. Jamie Rushworth finishes in third, the only CQR finisher. Evolution Racing Team's Kip Stevens finishes in fourth. When we had the likes of Stelin Shepelevsky and Wojciech Savinovic in the field today, I'm sure not many people would have... Oh, excuse me, a sneeze was on the way then. Would have expected that Jack Sedgwick and Kip Stevens would have been the 2 highest Evolution Racing Team finishers. No disrespect, guys. Maciek Sakovic finishing in 5th. Top AM driver as well. Went under the radar there to do a good job of keeping the likes of Sven Glatzel and Dan Hunt and Simmons at bay, the former Club Series champion. We mentioned those guys, Glatzel, Hunt and Simmons. Then Michael Blake in 9th. Stelin Shepelevsky in 10th. Very consistent by Michael Blake, I think, tonight. I think he's probably been in the top 2 or 3 in the Pro-Am fight in all 3 races. Adam McNally finishes in 11th, Robert Lundgren 12th. Then it's Rob Graham in 13th. John Roberts and Stuart Atkinson, the 2 boosted teammates, finishing in 14th and 15th. And then Scott Malcolm and Mark Woodhouse, the last classified 2 finishers. We've got a whole other page of retirees. Max Wright, did he even finish a race today? I think he might have finished 1. Then it's Chris Wood, Steve Baxter, James McRitchie, 9 laps down. He disappeared in race 2. The reasons for which are on the YouTube chat. Will Daniels, then Dan Brown, then Pete Howard and Dave Baker didn't last long at all. Most of these are all the cars that crashed out on the opening lap. Then it's Adam Hedgecock, Ash Sutton, the one that went flying. Adam Hadfield in the Automotor Kill car. He got throttled by... it wasn't Lundgren. I think that was... It was
Hadfield. I'm not sure what happened to Hadfield. I've forgotten completely what happened there.
Savinovic got wiped out by Shepelevsky, and
He did.
And poor Paul Smith. I think he started from the pits, and did he still
Has he just crashed? Has he on his own somewhere? Or who knows?
There it is. I'm intrigued now. So obviously he's gonna leave the pits. Watch him leave.
Was it on lap 1?
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
Right, he's gonna leave the pits. Going to go on a journey with Paul Smith here to see how on earth he retired from this.
This is either going to be really anticlimactic or it's going to be hilarious, probably. So he does the first job, not crashing in the pit lane. That's good. He doesn't infringe the white line, which is also good.
Well, he's entered the pit lane a couple of more times.
Here's the... Oh, no. Here's the... Oh, no.
Oh, no. No.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, dear.
Oh.
Oh.
Has that broken it already? Oh, no, he might have got
he's alright. I think he's alright.
He might have got a meatball flag after that, not too sure.
Later on, but he retires on lap 1, so...
So let's rewind on.
Oh! Oof!
Hurry up, please. Yeah, wheels pointing fine here. I wonder if he's going to pit at the end of the opening lap.
Just had enough, has he, maybe?
I've had it, really, yeah. Maybe screaming, why was there no safety car? Going through the fountain, everything fine. Sorry, Paul, for bringing this up. Is he in the interview room? No, he isn't. I don't think many people will be wanting to talk to us after this. Through the final corner he goes. Is he going to come into the pits?
No, I think not.
Yes, he is. There he goes. And that's the story of
Paul
Paul
Smith.
Smith.
Set up a meeting with you and Maciek Sakovic.
That's the end of Paul Smith's race. No Benny Hill music over that. I don't think.
Well, I think on that note, on the ineptitude of the first lap, I think we should probably end on that one. So. Thank you, everybody, for watching. It's always a pleasure to bring you the...
Shall we see where we're heading to next week?
Oh, where are we heading to next week, Adam?
Good question. Glad you asked it. We're off to we're off to Montreal. Your happy hunting ground.
Oh, well, that might be something. So, Montreal, well, if there's ever an excuse, there might be one next week. We'll see how that goes. In fact, wait a minute. We have Ross McFarlane.
Here we go.
Got Ross McFarlane here. Let's get him.
Let's get him in for a quick word.
Let's get him. Ross McFarlane joins us here. Hello, mate.
Hello.
You were literally 5 seconds from not getting an interview at all because you just turned up in time. Brilliant race, brilliant last lap. But I think it was all one for you at the start. Basically, great start off the line.
Yeah, I did a couple practices in the warm-up just to make sure I got a good start. I think Maciek just spun the tires up, held it on the clutch a little too long, and I thought I would have a bit more space throughout the race to get away, but Jack was bloody quick, so yeah, it was tough.
Yeah, when he actually got to you, of course, he really put the pressure on early, and he threw it up the inside a few times, and you had to use every bit of your experience to counter that.
Yeah, it's
we're just seeing the crash in slow motion, so at the first lap as well, behind, so the viewers can enjoy the chaos.
No, I saw that starting in my mirror. Yeah, it's incredibly tough to pass here. Even just a little bit of defense can go a long way. So I think I just did enough in that last couple of corners. There's a little bit of contact, but it's just tiny contact. I don't even think I really got an incident from it. But no, props to Jack. He's obviously got the knack of this track. I don't quite have that, and I just did enough.
Yeah, I mean, we did say it was time on the last lap to get the elbows out and just kind of go for it. We saw that we're seeing the move on seeing the last couple of corners on the screen now. Just you're on the inside, and let's have a look. It turns in. There's a tiny bit of contact, and yeah, it just goes wide, just clips the tyres. Bit unlucky, but again, Belle, Ross, it's that sort of place where small, not even mistakes, but just small sort of being offline a tiny bit, or getting a small nudge when you don't need to. We've seen many crashes because of that.
Exactly, yeah. There's a few little bumps and dips throughout the track that they just drag you off into the wall, or if you hit one and you're flat on the throttle, you hit the limiter and you skate off and tap the wall. So yeah, two by two around a very tricky corner with bumps. It doesn't work out, but yeah, that happens. I've had a few incidents already today. That was my just reward for having so many incidents at the start. So I'm satisfied.
And the street circuits continue for the BSRTC as well as we go to Montreal circuit Gilles Villeneuve for the next meeting. What are your thoughts on that particular circuit?
Oh, I do absolutely love that track. It's one of my favourites, certainly throughout this calendar, and it presents many of the similar issues that Belle Isle has. Slightly more forgiving. There's a few little areas of grass that you can dip a wheel onto and escape, but it's a bit higher speed as well, that straight, so it gives a little bit more opportunity to pass, and hopefully, it's a little cleaner there than it was at Belle Isle. There's a couple of wrecks, but I think that Canada is one of those tracks that if you master it, you can drive away at the front, and if you want to try and overtake people on it, you've got to really be willing to just throw it into that last chicane, and there's not many other places.
Yeah, you've really got to have done your practice. I think to make your overtaking move stick around there. It's a tough one, but it's a fun one, and we look forward to seeing you there. Just before we go, as the sun sets on Belle, I'll just give us a little rundown for your sponsors, little shout outs here and there.
Yeah, thanks to the team V-Racer. We've had a pretty good start to the season. We're very proud of what we're doing. Thanks to Events House for their continued support. Thanks to Noble Chairs, Swedish Rig Designs, XSIM. They've all helped out along the way, and seeing it on the track and getting the wins, it repays some of it, but I'm sure we can do much more throughout the rest of the season.
Perfect, and we look forward to seeing what you can do. So yeah, keep it up. Well done.
Thank you.
A lot of love for Ross McFarlane on the YouTube chat as well for his drive there in race 3.
Oh yeah, there usually is, and but yeah, rightly so. Terrific performance, great stuff by the Scotsman, and that'll move him up the table nicely. He was in 3rd in the standings, and He'll be close to the top of the table by the time we head to Montreal. So yeah, Adam, that just about does it for tonight, mate. But always a pleasure, and it's always a fun race when we come to Detroit.
I know, yeah, we've got a pretty fun few weeks, haven't we? We've got this, we've got Montreal next week. We've got a week 13 break after that as well, and then we go to the Glen. The Glen always is, and then we've got Le Mans as well. So we've got a slipstream fest, haven't we, over the next few weeks as we go into June.
I'm loving the next few weeks on the schedule then, and yeah, hopefully you can join us too for that. So from myself, Andrew Woodhouse, from Adam Bath, who's heading to Wembley for the playoff final on Monday. So good luck to you for that one. Good luck to Aston Villa. Please get rid of Derby County. Then it's good night from us here on Apex Racing TV, and we'll see you guys in the next one.